You followed your setup perfectly. The entry was clean. The structure was there. Everything lined up. And the market dipped slightly against you. What do? You close it early. 2 minutes later, it ran 5R without you. Or maybe the opposite happened. You were done. You knew you should cut it. You removed your stop loss, hoping, waiting, and it just kept going against you until you finally got out at your worst possible exit. If either of those hit close to home, comment below with the word guilty, because I can guarantee almost every trader watching this has been there, including me. Now, here's the thing though. Most traders look at moments like that and think, I need more discipline, or I need to control my emotions better. Framing is completely wrong, and it is actually the reason why most traders never fix this problem. Emotional trading is not a feeling problem. It is a system problem. And today, I'm going to show you exactly why that distinction matters and what to do about it. Let me give you some context on why I can speak on this, and I'll keep it short. I've blown funded accounts. I've lost a 5-figure investment in a single trade because of reckless execution. I have been in that exact cycle where things are going well, you start feeling invincible. And then one bad week wipes out months of progress. For the longest time, I kept thinking the answer was mindset. Just be more disciplined. Just be more patient. Just do not let emotions get to you. But here's what actually changed everything for me. After collecting 3,000 backtested trades across 10 months, I started seeing patterns in my data that had nothing to do with strategy. They had everything to do with the conditions under which I was taking trades. That is when I realized the problem was never my emotion. The problem was that I had no system to catch when my emotions were contaminating my execution. Later in this video, I'm going to show you how exactly to build that system using data and not willpower. But first, you need to understand why emotional trading keeps happening in the first place. Why does emotional trading happen? And I mean the real reason, not the surface level answer. Your brain is wired to treat financial loss the same way it treats physical danger. When a trade goes against you, your nervous system does not know the difference between losing a $50 and being chased by something that wants to hurt you. It triggers the same threat response, and that response kicks in. Your decision making shifts from logical to survival mode. This is why you hold losing trades longer than you should. Cutting the loss feels like confirming the danger is real. So your brain keeps looking for reasons to stay in, hoping that the threat goes away on its own. And this is also why you exit winning trades too early. When you are up on a trade, your brain wants to lock in that safety before something takes it away. The discomfort of watching an unrealized profit fluctuate feels worse than just taking the smaller win and being done with it. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This response gets stronger the more emotionally loaded your recent trading history is. If you just came off of a losing streak, your brain is already in a heightened threat state before you even open a chart. So the next trade you take, you're not trading the setup. You are trading your emotional residue from the last 5 trades. In my own data, I found that trades taken within 2 sessions of a losing streak had a measurably lower execution quality score. Same setup, same market condition, completely different outcome distribution. Well, that is not bad luck. That is your nervous system compounding its own interference. Comments below if you have ever noticed that your worst trade tends to cluster together because that pattern is in the data. So most traders hear all of this and think the solution is just to try harder, to white knuckle their way through the discomfort and force themselves to follow the rules. And I get it. That feels like the logical response. But here's why it does not work. Willpower is a finite resource. It depletes throughout the day, it depletes under stress, and it depletes fastest in high-stake, uncertain environments, which is exactly what trading is. So every time you sit down to trade and rely on willpower to keep your emotions in check, you are essentially trying to win a war with a weapon that runs out of ammunition. I spent years trying to out-discipline my emotional responses. And what I found in my own data was that my worst executions were not random. They followed specific sequences, a string of losses, or, ironically, a string of wins that make me overconfident. Think of it like this. Imagine a professional athlete who relies purely on motivation to show up to every single training every day. Some days, the motivation is there. Some days, it is not. The ones who last are the ones who build a system, a schedule, a routine, a structure that removes the decision entirely. Trading is no different. The trigger was always contextual, not random. And that means that it is measurable, it is fixable, but not through willpower, through structure. Before I show you exactly how to build that structure, there's something crucial you need to understand about what emotional trading is actually costing you at a system level. Most traders massively underestimate this number. Now think about your last 20 trades. Now mentally pull out every single trade where you deviate from your plan. Maybe you moved your stop loss, maybe you closed early, or maybe you entered without a proper setup because you felt like you were missing out. Now ask yourself, what would your result look like if those trades simply did not exist? In my own data, I ran this exact exercise. I isolated every trade where I logged a deviation. Early entry moved my stop, unplanned entry, and I removed them from my result. My win rate increased by 3%, my average RR improved by 0.4, and my maximum drawdown dropped by nearly a third. The setup was the same, the market conditions were similar, the only variable was my internal state at the time of execution, and that variable was quietly destroying my expected value without even me realizing it. Your actual edge is the one you backtested, the one that works over a large sample. It is being diluted every single time you inject an emotional decision into the sequence. So here is how to actually fix this. And I want to be very clear, this is not about journaling your feelings. This is about building a pre-trade filter that operates like a checklist, not a therapy session. The first thing you need is define trading state criteria. Before you take any trades, answer these 3 questions objectively. Number 1, am I taking this trade because my setup criteria are met, or because I feel like I need to recover something? Number 2, what was the outcome of my last 3 trades? And am I in a state where that outcome is influencing this decision? Number 3, does this trade exist in my backtested data, or am I improvising? If you cannot answer those 3 questions cleanly, you do not take the trade. Full stop. The second thing you need is a deviation log. Every time you break a rule, you record it. Not to beat yourself up, but to find the patterns. Because your deviations are not random. They follow triggers. And once you see those triggers in your data, you can build rules around them. In my own trading, I found that my rule breaking spiked after 3 consecutive losses. So I built a rule. After 3 losses in a row, I stopped trading for the rest of the day. Not because I'm being emotional about it, but because my data told me that my execution quality dropped significantly in that context. That single rule has saved me more money than any strategy tweak I've ever made. The third thing, and this is one most traders skip, is sample size mindset. Emotional trading is most disruptive when you are treating each trade as if it is the most important trade you'll ever take. But if you have 3,000 backtested trades showing your edge work over a large sample size, then any single trade is just one data point in a much larger sequence. Think of it like a casino. The house does not panic when it loses a hand. It knows the edge plays out over thousands of hands. You need to think the same way about your trades. When you genuinely internalize that, the environmental spikes around individual trades starts to dissolve. Not because you force it to, but because the data give you a rational reason not to care about any single outcome. Now, everything I just walked you through, the pre-trade filter, the deviation log, the sample size tracking, all of it lives inside the free trading journal I've built and use it myself. This is not a generic template. It is the exact structure I used to collect my 3000 backtested data and identify the patterns that were quietly destroying my execution. Check out the link in description below. Drop a comment and let me know which part of this hits hardest. The willpower myth, the deviation data, or the sample size mindset. I read every comment and use them to shape future videos. If this gives you value, subscribe to me because in the next few videos, I'm going deep on how to build a backtesting process that gives you undeniable confidence in your edge. Not theoretical confidence, the kind that holds up when the market is moving against you in real time. Here's the truth. Most traders are not losing because their strategy is broken. They are losing because the execution is broken. Fix the system, fix the execution, the results follow.